This is the National Weather Service office here in Gaylord, Michigan, with your morning hazardous weather briefing for Wednesday, April 10th of 2013. Well, we have several hazardous weather highlights for the next several days. These are really going to focus on just through Friday. First of all, late season wintry precipitation in the form of snow, sleet, and freezing rain. That is going to be mainly for northern lower Michigan today through Friday. Now, accumulating snowfall is then expected for Thursday night through Friday across eastern upper and far northern lower Michigan around the Straits area. And also some gale force winds for the nearshore and open waters of the Great Lakes. That's for late tonight and into Thursday and even Thursday night. Those will bring some rough boating conditions out there, although it's quite cold. Doubt there's a lot of small boaters out there. Impacts from the wintry precipitation and the accumulating snowfall are obvious. Periods of hazardous driving conditions out there with some slick roads. Now let's get into some of the current conditions right now. We do see low pressure in the heart of the country with a stalled out frontal boundary stretching across Illinois, far northern Indiana, and Ohio. Now north of this low pressure and back to its western side, there was a large area of precipitation. And this precipitation has worked its way in across northern Michigan over the past several hours, and in the form of some rain, some snow, some sleet, and even some thunderstorms out there. And that was mainly occurring from roughly M68 and far northern lower southward. Now as we look ahead to tomorrow, Thursday morning, that low pressure will meander into Illinois. The frontal boundary roughly in the same spot, and there's going to be a large swath of precipitation. Again, that's going to be over much of the lower Great Lakes. And then by Friday, the main low pressure will work its way into the eastern Great Lakes, but there will be a secondary low pressure that develops across the southern parts of Lake Michigan. Cold air will already be moving in through the area, changing all the precipitation types over to just snow, and that low will drag its way across northern lower Michigan as we go through the day. Now let's take a look at the snow and ice potential. Now this is going to be through Saturday morning. Now again, this is just the potential right now. This is a very tricky forecast. However, in the blue shaded areas, that is anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of snowfall over all of eastern upper, the Straits, and a good chunk of northern lower Michigan. In the meantime, they're hard to see, and we'll look at a better graphic here in a minute, but the brown lines are ice accumulation. And again, we're going to take a look at that more clearly in this particular graphic. This is for greater than 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulation. And as you work your way into the blues, that's a greater probability. So we see there from, again, roughly M68, where we start to see the icing potential. It increases as we head south, as we get closer to the M55 corridor. Now, as far as the details go, well, I think the headline says it all. This is just a wintry mess. And it's going to continue all the way through Friday, but on Friday, everything should at least be snow. Now for today, temperatures really not going to get anywhere out of the upper 30s to around 40 degrees. There's going to be periods of rain and snow and freezing rain and even some sleet, and that's only going to be across northern lower Michigan for today. And then for tonight and into Friday, we're going to start to see that precipitation shield move its way into eastern upper, and that's mainly for tomorrow night and Friday. But there's still going to be a continuation of some wintry mix across all of northern lower Michigan over this time frame. And then for the weekend, it's still going to remain cool outside, and we're going to have the next chance of rain arriving on later Sunday. And as far as the temperatures go, it's going to stay cool all the way through at least the first part of the weekend, with temperatures not getting out of the 30s. But we do see a gradual warm-up to everybody in the 40s on Monday, and maybe even a couple of spots hitting 50. And again, the hazards outlook. Well, this is a very difficult forecast, and that snowfall potential is there. As far as right now, we're getting some thunderstorms out there, and that's helping to change the precipitation over to snow, and it's actually accumulating in some places. I've seen even some big flakes, and that same scenario can develop as we go through late tonight and through Thursday. So that is where that potential 4 to 6 inches of snowfall comes from. Anyway, several rounds of wintry precipitation with a mix of rain, sleet, snow, and freezing rain expected today and through Thursday night. Friday, again, is all snow for all areas. And again, the gales that are possible on parts of the Great Lakes, and that's late tonight and even through Thursday night. And with the rainfall that's going to be around, some minor river flooding is expected across northern lower Michigan. That's generally going to be M72 southward. And that'll wrap up this hazardous weather briefing. Please come back for our next scheduled broadcast at around 5 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you for listening to your National Weather Service here in Gaylord, Michigan.